DBS community, welcome back to another video here with Kyle Chris, and today we're going to be going over a deck breakdown for the other cooler leader that is going to be coming out in set 17, which is going to be Metacooler Unlimited Power. I don't know, it is considered a meme deck. I think a lot of people really don't take the Metacooler stuff seriously. I think it's also a meme deck, to be completely honest with you, but as you know, fate has taught me, sometimes these meme decks can become pretty decent rogue decks. Do I think this deck will be playable competitively? I don't think so. I think people will find ways to make it viable, maybe at their locals. But currently, unless we get some form of crazy TP card, which I think we probably will get something for Metacooler, could change my entire idea of what this deck could do. But we're going to go over what the actual leader does, some key cards, as well as a deck breakdown. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you guys do, like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and let me know what you guys think of the content. If you guys want to support more, I got a Patreon down below. You guys can check that out on your own time if you so choose. So, Metacooler, when this card is placed in the leader area, activate up to one Big Yeti Star Nightmarish regeneration from your deck. Auto Burst 2, add one card from life to hand. When this card attacks, play up to one Infinite Multiplication Metacooler. I'm just going to call them Metacooler tokens for probably the rest of the video. Obviously, they're not tokens, but I'm not saying that full thing every single time. So, but you play up to one of these cooler tokens from your deck, then shuffle. Awaken when you're at 4 life or less. You may draw one. Play up to one token from the drop area, and flip this card over. So, essentially, on your attack turn, you are taking a life to then establish two attackers. One is your leader, the other one is going to be a 15k body, right? It's pretty good. On whenever you awaken, you also establish another 15k body. Very powerful. On the awaken side, permanent, if there are 20 or more Metacooler tokens in your energy battle area and or drop area, this card gets 5k. That is just a permanent. This is probably a really late game thing, and it's really difficult to run. Like once you get to about 20 of these, everything else becomes very difficult to deal with, right? It's really hard to run more. I think we're sitting around 23 or 24 in this deck, and that felt a little heavy. So I don't think this permanent is going to be something you're going to see a lot on the leader unless they board wipe you for some weird reason. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one, and then you have to play up to one Metacooler token from your deck, and then shuffle. So leader doesn't do too much on the awoken side, but it's solid. I mean, you're just drawing, and you're playing another 15k body. It's pretty good. So we're gonna go into the archetype cards that I feel like really flush out actually most of this deck. Unfortunately, we have Metacooler Enhance Menace. This is a 2-drop multicolor energy exhaust blocker. Permanent, if you have a Metacooler card in play, negate this card's energy exhaust in all areas. Essentially, this is going to be your check land. When this card is played from your hand, look up the top 7 cards of your deck, and then play up to 3 Metacooler tokens in rest mode. And then you shuffle your deck if you look through it. This card's cool. You're generally going to be charging at least one of these, if not more. And this actually adds a lot more expansive play lines because you can run a lot more yellow stuff. This current deck, we're not running a ton of yellow stuff, but this does give you the ability to do that. You're essentially just you can play it basically for 2 energy. You establish 8 energy worth of cards because you have this Metacooler plus the other 3 tokens. It's quite a bit. We have Infinite Multiplication Metacooler. That's your token Metacooler, and you can run as many of these copies of this card in your deck as you want. That's what you're running, right? You have 3 of these, and essentially now that have been printed, you have a yellow one, a green one, and a red one. So the deck actually has a few different avenues of things that it can play. The unison for the deck is Mecha Freeze it back from the Abyss. Permanent, when this card is played, when playing this card, you can pay its energy cost using the Metacooler tokens in your battle area as energy. Essentially, if you have 3 tokens in active mode, you can tap all 3 of them to play this card for essentially for free. Uptick 1, discard 1 card from your hand. Your opponent discards a card from their hand. Because this does not say you may, this is a +1. You have to pitch a card from your hand. So you have to make sure that it's something that you want to pitch. If not, you can't really +1 and actually gain the effect. -7, you choose up to 3 of your opponent's cards in their hand and or battle cards and place them in the owner's drop area. So you can actually just rip 3 cards from their hand, or kill 3 things on board. It doesn't actually KO them, so you can't actually play like Surprise Attack, Frieza, things like that. But it does allow you to just have some board removal on there as well. So this is some of the archetype cards. Now we're going to go into the actual deck and see if we can make this leader somewhat competitive. We'll see if we can do that. All right, guys. So I spent too much time trying to make this Metacooler deck work. Spent a lot of time actually trying to make this Metacooler deck work. What I came up with, I think it's decent. I'm sure someone who really wanted this deck to actually, come back. I'm sure they're going to spend a little more time on it. This is what I got for you guys today, though. So, first card is going to be Big Yeti Star Nightmarish Regeneration. This is the field spell that you play off of the leader. So it also counts as Big Yeti Star in all areas. Activate main, burst 1 for 1 colorless energy. Switch this card to rest mode. Look up the top 3 cards of your deck and play up to 1 Metacooler token. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Second activate main is you tap 1 green and 1 yellow and 2 colorless. You place 1 Metacooler core from your hand onto this card, and you play up to 1 Metacooler core card from your deck or drop area on top of this card, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So essentially, this card, plays out one of the big boss monsters. Now, what's cool is that you can actually play this card in the yellow Metacooler leader, I believe, because it also counts as Big Yeti Star. So you can actually play that in that deck, and that actually plays more Metacooler core cards, so it actually will have more effectiveness, I think, in that deck. 23 Metacoolers. Essentially the deck, right? You're playing almost half of your... Now, this is about a third of the deck because you're playing a 60-card deck. Just because we needed room for, other actual cards that were Metacooler cards. But this gives you quite a bit of Metacoolers. You can probably cut this down by maybe 2, go down to 21 if you really want to fit 2 more cards in the deck. But I just felt, 23 just kind of made the most sense. Also, Michael Jordan, got to make it anytime I do numbers, it's either 23 or 24. 4 Metacooler Multiplying Threat. This is your Self-Awakening battle card. I think it's when you swing, you look top 5 and you play up to 1 token in rest mode, and you take a life. So this also allows you to take a life and play out tokens. So it's pretty good. 2 a Hopeless Sight. This is a 1-drop negate. Additionally, you can pitch a card from your hand, and then you can play 1 Metacooler token from the drop area. So you can actually pitch a Metacooler token and then play it out for 1 energy. Second effect, 1 green, 1 yellow, and 2 colorless. You can play out up to 100 Metacoolers from your drop area. This is the main reason why we're running the check lands. We want to be able to use this effect. So turn 4, you can do this as early as turn 4. If you have 15 Metacoolers in your drop area, you can tap 4 and then just play out 15 Metacoolers. And that's very hard to deal with, right? You can just keep swinging with 15k. Now, obviously, if they have a floodgate, it is what it is. But that's kind of the whole point of this deck, is just kind of swarm with all these 15ks, and this is a card that you can do that with. 4 Dormant Potential. We're a green deck that is running in unison, so 4 is probably fine. Honestly, you can probably cut this down to like 2 or 3, just because I am not running 4 units. No, actually, we are running more than 4 unison, so yeah, actually, Dormant actually would be fine. 4 of the Checkland Metacooler. Again, the main reason why we're running this is because it is a free Checkland if we have a Metacooler in play. This also allows us to gain a yellow energy for this. But you can also, honestly, you can also run a lot of other things. You can run, there's the Topo successor card that kills something through barrier. You can run that. You can run, there's a Cell successor for 2 energy that kind of does the same thing. There's different cards you can run. This is essentially going to be a successor deck. So you can actually branch into those other successor cards and find other stuff that you would, potentially want to use. 4 Newfound Foe Metacooler. So this is a successor for 1 green. So it's 4 energy, so you have to pay 4 energy worth of green cards or yellow cards or green and yellow cards. So if you have 2 tokens on board, you can just sack them off for 1 energy and play this. Activate main limit 1, choose 2 of your Metacooler cards, and then get plus 5k for the duration of the turn. So you make 2 of your 15ks 20ks, and this is also a 15k. You also can pitch this card and and 1 card from your hand. I think it's a Metacooler card from your hand. You search top 7, and you can add 2 Metacooler or Metacooler core cards from your hand. So the idea is that you want to pitch this to potentially grab this card, or grab this card here, and then you want to pitch these Metacoolers to the drop area. That's kind of the idea. 2 of the Marguerite Angel of Universe 11. Universe 11? Universe 9. Universe 11. Yeah, duh. It's Jiren. So this is actually one of your biggest defensive pieces in the deck. This is a 14k blocker with barrier. 1 green, 1 yellow. When this card is played or used in a combo area, or I'm sorry, if you have more than one multicolor energy, when this card is played or comboed with from your hand, your opponent chooses a card in their hand and they discards it. When this card is on the field, when your opponent plays a battle card using a skill or the activated counter skill, you can choose one of their battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Essentially like a poutine, right? Since we don't have a ton of defense in this deck, this is just a very interesting card. We can just play it down on turn 2. Since we're going to be playing a meta cooler off of our leader anyways, this will allow us to set up a defensive play, so when they play something big, we can just tap it down. And this is not unique, so you can just play multiple ones. Obviously, they will activate at the same time, but it's still pretty cool. You can just play it, and then now you have this very cool defensive card that's kind of hard for them to remove. Xenocell, that's our secret rare. Since we play out so many cards, you can get this very, very quickly. You actually can, a Hopeless Sight on turn 5, play, as long as you're playing 6 Metacoolers, since they're all 2 energy, but you just play them all down, you swing with all of them, and then you just play Cell, and now you have, now you're just going for game, right? 4 Great Saiyan super combos. This is because we want to be able to bottom deck stuff. So since our leader only plays from deck, if we have any of these in our hand, we want to put them back into the deck so that we can swing with our leader and then, essentially play them out for free then. So it's kind of like you're plussing like 3 here, because you're putting a card back you're going to play for free anyways, and then drawing 2 more cards. So 4 Charismatic Villains, since we are running Unisons. And we have 2 of the new Golden Freeze and Newfound Might. This is just so we have another form of game finisher, and also having a blocker unison I think is very important too. This just sets up so much defense for later on in the game. 3 of the Mecha Frieza back from the Abyss, so we do have it. And then 2 Metacooler Core the Collective. So this is the only Metacooler card we run in the deck. Essentially why I was saying why the field spell is not incredibly important in this deck. But we also can use the Metacooler card here to, I believe, find this card, so that is pretty helpful. It's a 35k successor for 3 energy for 8 costs, so you can basically do 4 Metacoolers. When this card is in play, all your Metacooler cards in your battle area gain blocker. When this card is played with successor, you get to play out 4 Metacooler tokens from your drop area. So you play this for 3. You sack off, 4 battle cards. You play this, and then you can play out those 4 battle cards again. So you have a 35k and then 4 15ks, and I believe they just come into play. So it's a very cool card you can end up using. And we don't run a ton of them just because it's not something we absolutely need to see. And the problem is with the Big Yeti Stars, you actually have to absorb a Metacooler card to play a Metacooler Core card. So you have 2 of these, so you're not really going to be playing it off of the Unison as much. You're really just using the Unison for the Burst 1 Activate main to play out a card. But you can essentially, if you have one of these in your hand, you can absorb it, and then if you have one in the drop area, or you bottom decked one, or one's in your deck still, you can just put this from your hand underneath it and then play the other one out. But you really want to play it off of Successor for sure. You want to be able to Successor in and then play out 8 more energy worth of cards, swing with all of them, and then sell and do different things like that. So it's very interesting. It's a very, very interesting concept. On turn 6, so something that was kind of funny. I saw this in testing on Untap. If you don't have Cell, actually even if you have Cell, you can tap 3 to play out a cooler, like if you have all the guys on board, right? So you play out a 35k, and then 4 15ks. You swing with all of those, you can tap 3 again, play the other one from your hand, get another 35k, and 4 more of those, and then Successor after you swing with all that stuff into Cell. It's very, very funny. Very, very funny. But this is what I have for you guys today for the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like and subscribe. And thank you guys as always for watching and supporting the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.